Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Sean Ray speaking here, and today I'm going to be going over what the hell happened to me in the last couple of months. Well, 3 months. I had almost $200,000 worth of commissions from basically August, maybe a little bit before August, July, August, all the way to the end of the year. I didn't really care anything more about leads, marketing. I didn't really post a lot of videos on YouTube. I really just kind of let my business go because I had a good almost $200,000 still in the pipeline of homes that were under contract, and they were about a week away from closing, all the way to a couple months away from closing on some of the new builds. So this video is going to be about what exactly did happen, how you can learn from in your potential business as a real estate agent, how you can learn not to do what I did, and also what am I going to do forward to revitalize my entire business, because I am currently at 0 leads and I have no idea where all my income is going to come from now to a foreseeable future. So if you guys are real estate investors, awesome. You might get some quality information on this video about what the state of the market is and how I assume it's going to be going forward. And if you're a real estate agent, this is a way for you to learn how to grow your business. And if you're just a person that likes listening to me talk, it's going to be an entertaining ride to see how I totally screwed myself and how I'm going to try to dig my way out of the hole that I created. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you're new to the channel, it's typically about investing in real estate investing, Airbnb investing. But from now on, as you'll see in this video, it's going to kind of focus a little bit more on not only investing, but also real estate in general, real estate, Dallas real estate, and then helping home buyers out. I'm going to go back to just marketing myself as an all-around agent. Why do I talk about that? Because the first thing that I did, the way that I screwed myself and how I lost my entire business, is that when you start real estate, you have to kind of choose a path. I've been a buyer's agent for a very long time. I was also a leasing agent before that. So basically I just helped people find apartments. And then the goal is that one day whenever they get tired of living in an apartment, I help them with $2,500 a month, 1 bedrooms, $3,000. I just help someone with a $5,000 apartment complex or with apartment. And then they get tired of paying that 1 year. And then they were like, I gotta try this whole buying thing. And so that was my strategy. It worked out. I had at least $150,000 a year. 1 year I had almost $300,000 a year in just leases alone. It was crazy. So thank you very much for everyone that helped me get to the position that I was at, to be able to transition into being a buyer's agent. And so I did 50-50. The buyer's agent, basically first time home buyers was my thing, because they're taking it out of apartments to just their first homes. And then for some reason I kind of got burned out of that. Like, it's just the same thing. I'm not really adding value. And I got obsessed with wanting to invest in real estate myself, because I wanted to be able to retire and be a full-time dad. My goal is to one day take all my retirement income that I make from my properties and then use that to open up a self-development, personal development school for kids with finance and martial arts and stuff like that. It's gonna be a lot of fun, but I want to do that without the fear of money and paying the bills at the end of the month, and be able just to add as much value to the kids as possible. So that's why I want to try to start investing in real estate, and eventually start investing in Tesla too. That really worked out for me, by the way. So that's kind of where my story went. Now, I got really obsessed with just numbers. I forgot the buyer side of things, emotional stuff. Even today, when I help out a personal buyer that is trying to buy their first home and they're not trying to buy as an investment, it's still hard for me to, whenever they ask me about emotional things, like, hey, how do you feel about this, or how do you feel about that? Even right now in my business, I'm like, well, the ROI on this one is this, or well, the price per square foot in the area is this, and right now this is a little bit more. It's difficult for me to talk about emotional well-being of the buyer versus the overall best investment for the buyer. But that's just how I started brainwashing myself. And then I fell into the Airbnb side of things. I started making a ton of money because it's just a great way to cash flow above anything else I've seen. I was doing the long-term rental, then I started doing BRRRR, and then STR really was what really set me apart. And I made a lot of my friends a lot of money, and they've seen me make a lot of money doing it. And on top of that, I just decided, you know what? I can live off my Airbnb income as it is. I make right now this year, I think my revenue is going to end. I just started my newest property, so I'm not quite sure what that's going to boost it to, but I'm at least going to be like 425 to 450 in revenue this year. But if it works out to my favor, then I might even be pushing 500,000, and that's just on 4 current properties because I took one out because it wasn't performing as well as I want. I did a long-term rental on it, but still, that's a great revenue income to survive on and be comfortable with. So the hunger that I had as a real estate agent to get after those deals and survive, because if you don't close that next deal, then you're going to die. All that stuff kind of disappeared because of my beautiful ability to live off my Airbnb income. Plus, I was also doing a lot of great deals on the side with my friends because I was like, hey, this is a new build. The price per square foot's awesome. I think it's going to make $7,000 to $10,000 a month on Airbnb. You should do it. And I'll post that on my social media while still trying to be a normal real estate agent. And eventually, I got pegged as the Airbnb guy, and I embraced it. And I was like, okay, great. The only content I'm going to really put out is going to be Airbnb investing based, and that's it. And so I'm going to make myself framed as the guy to know and the guy to talk to when it comes to Airbnb investments. That's totally true, and I did know more than anybody else I knew about, especially the Dallas market Airbnb income, Airbnb Dallas investing. But what other people I started noticing when I go out in social events and parties and get-togethers is they always ask, oh, I didn't know you still did real estate. I thought you just do Airbnb investing. Or I didn't know you actually can help with leases. I thought you just help with Airbnb. And so that was fine at the time because I was still pulling in 2 or 3 deals a month to average $500,000 to $600,000. So I was still making pretty decent income just as the Airbnb guy. Now, things change. 2 things happened at one time. Well, 3 things. I stopped doing all my other content and I stopped reaching out to people. I stopped being an agent as far as following up with leads, trying to do lead generation. I just I rest on my laurels instead of using my Airbnb income to supercharge it by buying more Airbnbs or pay down debts or investing more in Tesla or whatever it happens to be. I just lived on it. I found a new girl. I found my girl. I found the only one that I was looking for. And we went on vacations a lot and we really enjoyed our life together. We fell in love and that was it. That's all I want to do is just appreciate all the years I worked really hard and just really just enjoy the love process. So here comes June. In June, the market's still crazy. It's confusing. Airbnb is being announced by the Dallas Council as being potentially banned. And then so people start reaching out to me about, well, how do you feel about this? I start reading into it. Rates start to get concerningly high and people start to lose their faith in Airbnb investing. Slowly, I start seeing deal after like my leads and my lead list of 40, 50 people are always willing to buy and they have to fight each other for the next house that I pick for the group. They start slowly being more and more quiet. And then the competition between all my buyers, investors, slowly starts to dry up. And it goes back to my core investors I can always count on, which is my friends that I made a lot of money with. And then even they're like, I might need to chill a little bit. And next thing you know, my deal after deal after deal starts falling out. People say, you know what, it's not worth it anymore. I'm not quite sure if Airbnb is going to be banned in Dallas, for one. And then for 2, the rates are just going up and we just had to, before closing, we had to readjust our rate. And now the mortgage is going to be so much higher than it was initially. And I don't think that we can pay what we needed to pay to get this house to be profitable. That's wherein the problem lies. So here I am, the guy that ends up being the Airbnb guru in a market that no one wants to buy Airbnbs. And on top of that, I just purchased a house in June or July, and I purchased my own personal home that I want to Airbnb out on the weekends, and I put all the money into it. I make it look super sick. I'm currently in it right now. This is the garage I created as a studio. So I knew the gravy train was going to keep on running, and so I just put all this money in this house to really give me a awesome life. And now, as soon as I did all this, a large amount of debt, I acquired a large amount of debt to make this right, then all this stuff falls out. So now here I am a tad bit stressed, but I still have this 4 deal, huge thing that I've been working on for a while, and each house was around 600,000 or so. And so 4 homes at 600,000, that's enough commission to keep me fed, at least until next year. And I need to be able to figure out what happens with the Dallas banning Airbnb thing, and then restart my business and whatever it needs to do, blah, 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 blah. They back out because the construction actually got pushed because of COVID and all this stuff and all the supply chain BS. And so then that got pushed, and now they had to redo their rate, and their new rate for that particular loan they were using was 7%. That's the only loan that they can really work with, and we didn't quite be able to agree on terms for creative financing with the builder. So they backed out, and so that's the end of that. That was all my leads, all my business, everything dried up. So I panic and I say, okay, what do I need to do? Let's take a look at my life. What if I were to restart my entire real estate business today? Part 2 of this video is, what if I were to restart today? And that's what I'm doing. I'm restarting my business, and I'm restarting my marketing and my media as a general purpose real estate agent that can help people in leasing, real estate, whatever their needs might be, and investing and Airbnb. Good news is, so far, I've been up to date with all the Dallas Airbnb banning, and as of right now, there is no real teeth to it. They have met multiple times. There seems to be a really strong, we're going this way. Whenever this all first started, when I initially released a video about the Dallas Airbnb ban, it looks like it was imminent, was going to happen. But in the meantime, since that video has been released, there's been a lot of breakoffs and separations to where the ZOAC isn't as aggressive as we initially thought they would, and they keep pushing and they keep on stalling. So as of right now, there's still no threat of the Dallas Airbnb ban. I can't guarantee if you watch this video in 3 months or in 6 months if that's still the case, but as of right now, I'm not worried about it. And if they did do it, would I be worried about it then? How would they implement it and things like that? I'm not too worried about it, but that's also, I live a little bit riskier than other people, so I get it. If you're not that person, I understand. If you don't want to invest in real estate right now, I get it too. Right now is a really weird time to even buy real estate. Even it's hard for me to convince people that if I was a brand new agent today, this is the time to buy. Right now, it's September 20th, I think. I can't remember what day it is. Right now, this day is September 21st. And as of right now, we have all information pointing to next month being October. You are most likely going to see interest rates go up. And so if interest rates are almost guaranteed to go up and the economy is almost guaranteed to be hurting next month, then you'll see less and less people wanting to buy real estate because the real estate gets really expensive. But you might say, hey, I'm an investor, I'm not a first-time buyer, this is a great opportunity for me. If people are hurting and people can't buy, that means the properties that just in June or in May were going $50,000 over, $100,000 over asking, with just insane amount of competition. Now we can just pick up all those properties. People are going to be selling left and right because they can't afford blah, 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 and people aren't being able to buy. That's not necessarily true. If you look at the data shows that yes, although there are less people buying because they're scared of the outcome or the outlook of the economy, and also they can't afford the mortgages for these homes, at the same time, people are not listing as much. Very interesting. Typically, there would be a lot of months of inventory if this case were to happen. Every time that the interest rates go up, then the months that inventory increase. We want to have a healthy market. We want to try to keep that inventory as much to 6 months as possible, and we're not even near the 6-month mark right now, nor have we been in a long time. So your idea of getting the best deals right now, sure, they're out there. You can pick them up. There's a lot of people hurting, and you can help supply them with solutions to their pain. Unfortunately, it's not a crazy buyer's market yet. I hope it will be, and I'm a buyer's agent primarily. I can do listings, and I have done listings, but really I enjoy the buying process. So the day will come that the buyer's market will exist, I assume. I'm not 100%. Do I think that the market's going to completely collapse? Do I think that the housing market's going to just be another 2008, 2009 kind of situation? Are we going to go through all that stuff again? I don't think so. I think that the data shows that if anything, if we do go through a correction, it's going to be a very small correction. And on top of that, Dallas has been pretty insulated in all the biggest real estate crashes that we've seen. Right now, Austin's a little hurting. Austin's on the market, or on the list as one of the biggest markets that have retracted since all the increase of the interest rates. But I also think that has something to do with the fact that not as many Californians are moving to Austin anymore. I think we saw the great migration to Austin during COVID. And I think right now, California is starting to come back. And at that point, I think that people stop fleeting, or they stop running over to Austin. Because when those Californians came over, they did come to Dallas, and that really did boost it up. But Austin got super saturated, and they just threw money at people. So the market got hyperinflated. So is right now a best time to buy? That's a tough question. And I really think the best answer is, if you need to buy, then right now, this month, September, is a better time to buy than October. And potentially October is a better time to buy than November. But then we'll start to see a slowdown hopefully in December, and then there'll be much more deals in potentially November, December, maybe even January, as the market tends to slow down a lot during those months. And so right now, I am focusing on rebranding. So if you're a new agent, or if you've lost a lot of business during all this that's happening right now with the real estate market, and you might have seen yourself do what I did. You pigeonholed yourself as a person that does specific kind of deals in only specific markets. Then right now is a great time to reconsider what your identity is. Is this even for you? Is it time to get out of real estate? Maybe the idea of having to humble yourself completely and go all the way back to day one agent mindset, maybe that's just too much to take on for you. Maybe the idea of going out and messaging your friends on your social media platforms, or even texting your friends on your social media platforms, maybe your ego is too high because you're too used to being a multi-million-dollar real estate agent, and now you're just begging for any business at all. Maybe it's time for you to consider something else. Is there another option that's in your life that can bring you income that you might be passionate about? Maybe you weren't passionate about real estate. If you still want to make real estate work, which I do, then it's time just to get on your knees and start just praying that everything is going to work, and at the same time busting your ass. First thing, just focus on your branding. That's what you got to do. You got to get out there, if you're a new agent or you're an old agent, and just say, how do the public see me? Not how do I see myself, but how does the public see me? And then based on what they say, in my case, they didn't even know I was still doing leases or for buyers that were non-investors. But does the market see me in a way that does not bring in income, does not feed my family? And if that's the case, then change it. In my case, like I said, I'm changing it. Two, the thing that I think you should also do is humble yourself, and don't make yourself think that you still are the agent that you just were. The market has changed. The market, whenever literally anybody and everybody is wanting to buy it, no matter what the price is, and anybody will list their property and get way over asking price, whenever you can just do whatever you want and make money, then that is a time that builds this God mindset. It's, I am awesome, I can do whatever it takes, and I am the guy that you need, or girl, that you need to take care of all your real estate needs. I know I just started. I know that I'm 3 months old as an agent, but my bartending skills before this have taught me that I can sell a $3 million house. This is what was happening just recently over the last year or so. After the supply buildup of COVID just unleashed, then literally anybody could be an agent. And I was getting 1, maybe 2 a week, people reaching out to me like, hey, can you sponsor me? Like, hey, can you teach me how to be an agent? That's not going to be happening so much anymore. So humble yourself. And then 3, start being a freaking sponge. For myself, what I'm going to do, the third thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start taking in so much real estate information, I'm going to be just somewhat psychotic. I'm going to annoy the hell out of my beautiful lady, and she's going to be listening to YouTube videos, podcasts, any kind of phone conversations with any builders I have, lenders, other agents. I'm going to be going to meetings. I'm going to be reading books, again, that I've already read, and new books that I've been wanting to read. A lot of bigger pockets, going to be jumping on there a lot, just kind of keep up with market trends. I love the Data Deli. One of the Dave Meyer, he's a guy that used to be or still is on Bigger Pockets, and he gives great information. And so keeping up with that stuff, checking out local real estate news, the Dallas Morning News, the Dallas News in general, when it has to come to real estate, and just being able to pop off any kind of information I can. Making sure to keep up with all the information you can is so vital to be able to answer a question at any kind of get-together or parties or social events. That way you can immediately say, hey, I'm the guy you need to know, or I'm the girl you need to know. And this is why, because I know right off the top of my head what the current rates are and what the projected rates to be, and on the market, these are how many listings are open, and this is the area that I see with the most, and this is the price per square foot in these areas. There's actually 3 properties I really like right now. Here's the addresses. Let me see your phone. Let me share it with you via, iPhone. You can just close deals right there. If you're not prepared, you're not ready, then people will know that, and they don't feel confidence in you. Then make sure to share that information. If you do have good information that you think can help people, I want to try to find really good apartment deals at least once a week. Just reach out to all these apartments and see who's doing a month free or 2 months free, 3 months free, who's a beautiful property but yet underpriced. Putting that on my social media, probably not so much on YouTube, but probably on my Instagram, posting really cool stuff that, people, if they're bored, they can be like, oh, this place is, hey, my lease is up in a month or 2, maybe I can check out this place, and they'll reach out to you. Same thing with homes. If I love those Zillow finds or Zillow deals that I see on Instagram, or the people do the reels, and they're just talking about, look at this home, whether it's a really good deal or whether it's like the scariest, most overpriced home there is. Just interesting homes on the market that are conversation starters with people in your network. And then I think one of the most important things, and what I've already started doing, and these are just the top few tips, and then I can keep going on and on, but just to make this video not an hour long, a thing that I've started working on very aggressively is changing my mindset and daily habits. And I know it seems like such a, mindset. Every real estate book you have about success starts off with mindset, but it's so true. When you wake up, and you wake up as a defeated real estate agent, when you wake up as someone that is so just anxiety ridden and so against their own success that they barely can get out of bed, it makes it very difficult for other people to have confidence in you if you don't have confidence in yourself. And so I've slowly started doing 5 a.m.s, and I go to a kickboxing / MMA school at 6 a.m. I haven't been as consistent at that. I started at 8 a.m. and 7 and 6, and we're bumping around waking up from 5 to about 6:30 depending on the day. It's not so hard about waking up, but it's really hard about getting in bed and falling asleep before 10. That's very difficult for us to adjust. We're night owls. And so changing your daily habits to where you can wake up earlier, and knowing that you're more productive during the day, and knowing that at night you tend to watch more Netflix or YouTube, or you tend to play on Instagram, or you're more social, or whatever it happens to be. Just take out all of that time. Allow yourself an hour or 2 a day, maybe, for just decompressing, downtime, entertainment, time with your friends, time with your loved one or loved ones. And the rest of it is focus on grinding. Like right now is a season to build that foundation really hard. You did it when you first get started. Let's do it again. Get back in the gym. I started getting back in the gym pretty consistently. My lazy life doesn't need to exist anymore. I used to just go to work out maybe once a week before all this stuff happened. I used to wake up sometimes at 10 a.m. and just chill and hang out in bed until noon. And then if someone calls me about a deal, then I talk to them about it. This is not the way to be a winning agent, and I knew that at the time, but I just had the rest of the year coasted. And at the same time, I was being able to supply all the needs that I needed with my Airbnb income. But don't let comfortability set in and create your raging locomotive of a train going high speed that is unstoppable. Don't let those train tracks get gummed up and gooped up and your wheels get rusted by slowing down. Every time that your train slows down, your momentum slows down, then it's that much harder to get it going again. And so thank you guys so much for watching. This is the new direction of the channel I'm going to be going in. I'm going to make sure to be posting about Airbnb and investments just as always. I have some really cool content. There's a lot of really good stuff I got to talk to you guys about. And I'm going to be updating you guys on my personal life at the end of every video, just so you guys can see how this journey is going. Currently right now, thank God, the update is when I first posted this on my Instagram, which if you guys don't follow me on Instagram, it's Sean Ray Realty. I had a friend reach out to me, Mark Will, thank you so much, and he's just doing me a favor, and he let me help him find his apartment. And so he's using his primary home as a rental now, and he's moving into an apartment to have kind of a closer to the city lifestyle. So thank you so much for thinking of me. That was unnecessary, but the gift of your thinking of me and just throwing me into the mix is awesome. I really appreciate the business. So yeah, that's the money that I got coming in right now, other than my Airbnb income. And as of right now, this is what we're going to do. We're going to talk about the market. We're going to make sure people get fired up about education and how to get into real estate. And if it still doesn't work in the next 2 or 3 months, if I still don't see my business get rallied up, then I will have to go back to the chalkboard and start doing door knocking, calling for sale by owners, calling expired listings, and doing all the things that none of us want to do just to become a successful agent. So hopefully we don't have to get to that. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. All right, thank you guys. Bye. Oh yeah, make sure to like and subscribe.